What if I told you that the thing you're avoiding is exactly the thing you need the most? Today, we're going to talk about how comfort might be the biggest lie that we believe and how leaning into resistance can actually be the path to everything you want. Hello, friends. My name is Eric Cloward, and welcome to the Stoic Coffee Break. The Stoic Coffee Break is a weekly podcast where I take aspects of Stoicism and do my best to break them down to their most important points. I share my thoughts on Stoic philosophy as well as modern wisdom, and share my experiences, both my successes and my failures, and hope that you can learn something from them, all within the space of a coffee break. This week's episode is called Resistance Training for the Soul: Why the Hard Way Might Be the Right Way. The superior man thinks always of virtue. The common man thinks of comfort. Confucius. So we live in a culture that's addicted to comfort. From heated seats to instant groceries to algorithmic entertainment, we've wired convenience into nearly every corner of our lives. And while comfort certainly has its place, it's quietly become the invisible ceiling on our potential. So when we encounter resistance, be it procrastination or fear or doubt or discomfort, we often interpret it as a red flag. This is too hard. Maybe I'm not meant to do this. Something must be wrong. You know the feeling. When you're about to start something that really matters, and suddenly you're hit with fear or doubt or just that voice that says, maybe I'll do it tomorrow. Now, most of us think that resistance means that we're on the wrong path, that if it's hard or uncomfortable, something must be wrong. But what if resistance isn't a problem? What if it's a signal you're on the right path? So in The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield, he writes, resistance will tell you anything to keep you from doing your work. It will perjure, fabricate. It will seduce you. Resistance is always lying, and it's always full of shit. And honestly, I've come to believe that too. If something scares me a little, if it makes me hesitate or feel vulnerable, that's probably the exact thing that I should be doing. Because resistance shows up strongest where the stakes are real. It shows up when you're growing. It shows up when you're close to something meaningful. In other words, resistance is not a sign that you're failing. It's a sign that you're moving towards something meaningful. And if your goals don't stir up resistance, maybe they're not worthy of you. That fear of reaching out, that procrastination around finishing a script, that voice that's telling you to quit the gym when it gets hard, those aren't roadblocks. Those are thresholds. Now, the discomfort that you feel, that's the toll that's required for crossing into transformation. So let me start with a confession. There are days when I wake up and I just want to stay in bed. I want to skip yoga, delay writing, turn off the world, and just scroll instead. And sometimes I do. But every time I chase that comfort, it leaves me with the same feeling: dull, small, and disconnected. And that's the thing about comfort, is that it's really sneaky. Comfort feels like a reward, but over time it robs you of meaning. Comfort is easy, but it's rarely fulfilling. We chase comfort because we think it's safe. It's the warm bed that makes you snooze through your workout. It's the Netflix series that numbs your creative spark. It's the voice in your head saying, why risk embarrassment? Just stay here. It's safer. But what it really is stagnation. And here's the real truth of it. Comfort is not your friend. I mean, yeah, in the short term, it feels good, but over time, it erodes your confidence and ambition. It whispers, stay small, avoid failure, don't bother. And as Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, you love your own soul too. Just stop feeding it with luxury and comfort. These things make you soft and lazy. Next, I want to talk about the paradox that discomfort builds ease. Now, most people avoid discomfort, thinking that it will hurt them. But think about the gym. Nobody builds strength by staying comfortable. You grow by pushing into resistance, by stressing your muscles enough to spark growth. The same is true with your mindset, your creativity, and your emotional resilience. Every time you sit with discomfort instead of avoiding it, every time you have that hard conversation, face that blank page, or take that awkward first step, you're training your nervous system to better handle your life. Discomfort is not the enemy. Comfort is. In truth, the more you expose yourself to discomfort, the more capacity you develop to handle life's challenges. Discomfort becomes your training ground, your resilience gym. Want to be more confident? Embrace situations that make you nervous. Want to be more disciplined? Put yourself in environments with higher expectations. Want to be more creative? Sit in the discomfort of not knowing what to do next. So here's the paradox. The more you seek out resistance, the less it scares you. And the less it scares you, the more you grow. So let's take an example from professional sports. So professional athletes use cold plunges to recover and to train their nervous system. Not because they enjoy freezing, but because learning to stay calm in discomfort expands their range of control. And you can do the same with mental and emotional discomfort. You can train your mind like you train your muscles by choosing stress in doses that make you stronger. The Stoics themselves practiced voluntary discomfort. As Seneca explains, set aside now and then a number of days during which you will be content with the plainest of food and very little of it, and with rough, coarse clothing. And you will ask yourself, is this what one used to dread? It is in times of security that the spirit should be preparing itself to deal with the difficult time. While fortune is bestowing favors on it, then is the time for it to be strengthened against her rebuffs. By choosing to take on resistance when things are easy, you train yourself to handle resistance when things are not ideal. So, for example, when I used to cycle to work a few times a week when I lived in Portland, I would take the way home that had the most hills. I didn't have to, but I chose to because I knew that it would make me a stronger rider. I also found that practicing pushing my limits on the bike helped me to push myself in other areas of my life. So, to start leaning into resistance training instead of avoiding it, there's a simple practice that I like to do. So, number one, first, notice it. When you feel the urge to avoid something, pause and name the feeling. Is it fear? Is it boredom? Is it doubt? Second, reframe it. Ask, what if this discomfort is a sign that I'm about to grow? And what is it that I will learn from this? Number three, act small. Do a micro action towards the thing you're avoiding. One paragraph, one phone call, one set. Tiny acts build momentum. And lastly, reflect. At the end of the day, ask, when did I feel resistance today? And did I lean into it or did I avoid it? The next time you feel anxious about sending that email, having that tough conversation, or starting that new project, don't run from it. Sit with it, breathe through it, take action. So the Stoics didn't see resistance as something to avoid. They saw it as raw material for greatness. They saw it as the path to mastery. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. They understood that facing up to discomfort rather than fleeing from it is what cultivates courage, wisdom, and strength. For them, resistance was not a failure. It was the friction that shaped the soul. So the next time you're tempted to retreat into comfort, remind yourself, you're not being tested to see if you're good enough. You're being shaped into someone who knows they are. When you hit that resistance, remember that it's not a mistake. It doesn't mean that you're failing. It's training. It's preparation. It's proof that you're growing. So, in conclusion, I want to leave you with a simple challenge. Find something in your life that you've been resisting. Then lean into it, even just a little. Because what you want most is usually hiding on the other side of that thing you are most afraid to face. And that's the end of this week's Stoic Coffee Break. As always, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and thanks for listening. Also, if this episode helped you shift your thinking, please share it with a friend who might be wrestling with some resistance right now. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the show so that you don't miss an episode. Also, I want to remind you that I have my book, Stoicism 101, that is out. You can find more information about it by going to my website at stoic.coffee. Lastly, remember, resistance isn't the problem. Avoiding it is. And until next time, stay strong and keep showing up.